Recently, I've got in quite good shape and quite good condition from where I started from, and I want to run you through how I'm actually getting in shape without even trying too hard in comparison to how hard other people's trying. For example, the other day I had a conversation with a guy in the gym, and he said like he's doing cardio all the time, he's eating carnivore, and he can't seem to lose that last little bit of body fat that he wants to lose, that little bit on the belly that he wants to lose. And I gave him the advice, and this is going to be the first tip: calorie tracking. A lot of people neglect that this is the absolute main factor of getting in shape, getting leaner, getting ripped. It's your calorie intake. Too many people think, I'll focus on this diet specifically, I'll focus on this thing specifically, I'll focus on this thing specifically. But if you're not focusing on being in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose any weight. You can eat as much clean food as you want, but you're still being a surplus. And the mad thing is, when you're in a good calorie deficit that you're able to stick to with ease, that isn't too strict, but over time you get the results. You're able to eat a little bit of shit here or there. You're able to eat a little bit of bad food here or there. You could eat a little bit of chocolate. You can go out for a meal. You don't have to be too strict, and this is what I found: when your calories are on point, especially over time. For example, I do it in a slower way where I slowly lean down over time, especially from like January. I've just been slowly leaning down, slowly and steadily leaning down. This is such a beautiful thing because I'm able to coach myself there because my calories are on point. Never neglect how important it is for your calories to be on point. I know too many people who say, oh, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight, I can't lose weight. But they're not tracking their calories. They're not honest with their calories. They're not looking at what they're actually eating on a daily basis. Therefore, they're never able to get in the shape that they want. And they're blaming this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. You can blame all different things. But the reality is, if you're not in a calorie deficit, you are not going to see real results in your physique and your body, and you're not going to really get ripped. You're not going to lose that weight. Some people are genetically blessed to the point they eat an amount and they're fine with it. For example, we all know some people who can just eat a certain amount and they just eat normally and they're able to be in amazing shape. We're not that blessed. We need to have accountability. The main thing is calorie deficit. Don't neglect calorie deficit. Put your main importance on eating in a calorie deficit. The next thing is walking. This is what I've been doing a lot recently, is walking a lot and just going for walks. And even with work, I'm quite active, I walk a lot. This is an incredible way to burn calories without making yourself too hungry. Aim for about 10k steps a day, which is quite hard for some people, but let's say you don't reach it some days. At least let's say you get 8k steps. That was like an extra 400 calories burned easily. 400, 500 calories burned, dependent on your weight, easily, which just adds to getting leaner and getting ripped easier. You can up your calories a little bit when you do that, like I've done. I am not eating little calories. I'm eating probably around the 3,000 range and leaning down, which is really good and really nice, man. I can eat a lot of food. Some days I eat a little bit less because I'm not as hungry, but it's a very good amount and you don't feel like you're starving, and I'm getting better results than most people. This is what happens when you steadily lose weight and you walk. When you're walking, you're able to burn quite a lot of calories without a lot of energy expenditure, like a lot of people do. A lot of people will be jogging for hours and hours and hours, but they get hungrier because they need that replenishment from that food. A lot of people just get on the elliptical as hard as they can, or exercise or swim as hard as they can, but they get very hungry because they're pushing themselves so far and their body needs nourishment after that. Their body needs to be replenished. So walking's a very easy way to be able to lose weight with ease. A very easy way to even have mental health benefits. For example, going for a walk is such a beautiful thing for your mental health. You're able to burn a lot of calories when you do that, which is such a beautiful thing when you truly think about it. The next thing is training. I train roughly 3 times a week, and some of you are going to say, oh, that's not enough, that's not enough, that's not enough. But the reality is, it's enough when you train properly, when you're lifting a good amount of weight, when you're lifting actually heavy. A lot of people say not to lift heavy. What I do is I lift heavy on my first 2 lifts, especially I lift quite heavy, and then I'll lower the weight a little bit, not to the point it's light, not to the point where I could just do 1,000 reps of it, to the point I'm getting a stimulus as well. You need a reason to be able to hold the muscle as you lean down. Potentially build a little bit of muscle as well, which a lot of people say you can't do, but sometimes you can. Sometimes you definitely can. When you are still lifting heavy weights and holding onto that muscle, it's quite easy to lean down. You don't need to be in the gym 5 times a week. You don't need to be. If I could have the opportunity to be able to do that, of course I would. I would love to, but I'm not able to at this point in time. So I just train 3 times a week. There's sometimes where I train only 2 times a week, and sometimes more, sometimes less, but the average would be about 3 times a week. And I've been able to hold a lot of muscle and build a lot of muscle and get a lot of compliments from people, especially in my personal life. Online, people's physiques look insane, so it's hard to compare to them, especially when they're on steroids and top 1% genetics and all that shit. But in my personal life, a lot of people think, oh, you must live in the gym, you must live in the gym. No, I just train smart. I train properly. in regards to getting the maximum results with the most little amount of time that I need to. And this is what you got to think. If you train everything twice a week, you're all right. You're all right, man. If you train everything twice a week and quite good twice a week, you're going to be in an amazing position. And some of you are going to say, does that mean only one exercise for certain body parts? That's what I do sometimes. I'd normally split over 3 days, which would be shoulders, chest, some triceps, sometimes a bit of back, and then also a little bit of abs. And then the next day I'll do legs and I'll do biceps. And this truly helps me, and this actually works quite well for me, because obviously you've got to put a bit more emphasis on your legs because it's just not one little body part. And this truly helps. Next time I come in, I might just do full body. I might just train everything full body, which has literally worked very well for me and very good, and I've been able to get good results with it. You don't have to be in there all the time. You don't have to be in the gym all the time, like a lot of people say. They say you've got to be in 5 times a week, 6 times a week to achieve good results. You don't. You don't. If you train smart and you train properly, you're able to get them results. Thing is going to be protein. Of course, you need a good amount of protein. I would say to you, 120 grams plus. You'll be fine with that. Just aim around there. As long as you just hold the muscle and you're able to lean down, as long as you're in an okay calorie deficit and you've got a bit of protein, you'll be 100% fine with leaning down. And the next thing, which is quite important really, is meal timing. Too many people don't understand how important meal timing is. So, for example, me, I'd fast, say the first 3 to 4 hours of the day, I'll fast a little bit, and sometimes I might have a protein shake as well. And then I'll have a certain protein source, so it'd be quite clean, and I wouldn't really necessarily have much carbs with it, just so it can push me further into the day. And then a bit later on, I'll have some carbs, and I'll eat roughly 3 to 4 times a day, and then have a big meal at certain points and a bigger meal on the night potentially. And this truly helps me get through and stay on track with it. It's when you eat little bits here or there, like I can't do it. It's got to be kind of straight with me. So I'll eat a bit of protein, a good serving of protein that'll take me through the day. I'll have black coffees in the morning when I'm fasted as well, and I'll have some protein. So let's say a bit of chicken with some salad, and then I'll have a protein shake with it. That pushes me forward a little bit in the day. And then I'll have a bit more food, probably around 1,000-ish calories. A bit more later, I'll have something else, probably around that 500, 600 calories. And then a bit later, I'll have a bigger meal, roughly 1,000 calories. And this is what's able to get me through. Alongside walking, alongside training hard and lifting quite heavy, having a good amount of protein, and my meal timing being on point, this is how you lean down with ease. Too many people overcomplicate it. The main thing and the main takeaway I want you lot to get away from this video is your calories. Watch your calories, because that is the main indicator of if you're going to lose weight or not. When you're in a good calorie deficit, I would recommend roughly around a 500 calorie deficit, so then you could slowly lose a pound a week. Which some of you are going to say, a pound a week, or I want to lose quicker. You can, but it's going to be harder to hold as much muscle. Just take it slow over time. You got to think over 12 weeks, 12 pounds of pure body fat, whilst you might have got a bit stronger. That's a beautiful thing.